Happy New Year, motherfuckers.
Yeah, Happy New Year, man. Like, you know, the funny thing is about New Year's and Christmas is you get messages from people you didn't even realize fucking got your number still, mate. Like, all right, thanks for the message. I didn't know you existed like for a while.
It happens, man. I think we all go through it. You know, I don't know.
I had, a, I had a Happy New Year's message from my one brother who I haven't seen in like 6 years or 7 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was quite strange getting a message from him from a number I don't know existed. I don't have this number, so yeah.
I so this was something that we didn't discuss over the holiday that got brought up by a Kiwi living in England, and it was like, so for me, it was fish out of water. When I went to the southern hemisphere, when it's Christmas time and it's New Year's, you go to the beach, you do a braai, you go on like some nice holiday. Here,
Yeah.
it's fucking cold here. Like, and it's like, can you fathom being in a place where it's cold as shit on the holidays? Can you fathom that? Like, do you know that it? But it like to you, would
Well,
it feel wrong? Would it feel wrong?
well, I can imagine it because I mean, to put it to you this way, like all the fucking movies that like come from the states and like from the UK and everywhere,
It's cold.
it's
No,
always white Christmases and shit like that. You know what I mean? So you can imagine what it could be like, and but but for me, I like December to me is hot as fuck. Like that's what I remember. You know what I mean? I've literally never been in a country where it's actually winter time at December time. You know, so
yeah.
um, I probably would feel it's wrong if I get there, but I also think it would be nice to have a little bit of a different experience. You know, I always felt like, hey man, it would be great to have a white Christmas for a change, but um, you know, Christmas carols being sung and shit like that. We don't have that shit over here,
Yeah.
man. If somebody comes step up to your fucking door, they're probably gonna get fucked up, man. Like, fuck off. Why you sing in front of my fucking door? What do you want? You want to
Well,
get you want to steal something?
I find the reason I ask is I just checked the current temperature, okay?
Yeah.
It is 21 degrees and looks like it's quite wet there in
No, it's not
the
that wet.
light rain.
It was like a few drops falling down a little bit earlier,
Okay.
but it's not. It's nothing to write home about. It's actually like probably like you couldn't even call it rain, man.
So just to give you an opposite of that, so I have to tell you the daytime high that we had today here in Texas, it's 10 a.m. here, okay? So it's 10 after 10 in the morning.
Yeah,
Our daytime high today was achieved at 2 in the morning. We had a front blow through last night. It blew my Weber over. It blew the cover off my lawnmower. Right now, it is currently 3 degrees here. The high today was 7 degrees at two this morning.
yeah.
Uh, we're dropping down to -7 tonight, and then through the week we've got -6, -7, -5, -5, -7. It's fucking winter time here. So people are freezing their ass off. I've actually got to go get tires put on my car
Yeah.
this afternoon because if it does snow or ice, I need to have good
Yeah.
grip on my vehicle, obviously. But yeah, it was kind of like the thought that like for me, obviously having grown up north of the equator and the white Christmas and Santa's in this thick ass velvet costume because it's fucking
Yeah.
cold. But when you live south of the equator, it's not. It's summertime.
It's
And like I
fucking
said,
hot as shit, man.
it goes back to that fucking song from the 80s that like I didn't get until I lived there. But it's like there won't be snow in Africa this Christmas time. You want to know why? Because it's fucking Christmas. It's not because they're poor and they don't get snow. Like it's fucking summertime, man. Like for fuck's
Yeah.
sakes, take a geography class, asshole. Like, quit fucking saying that. Like, oh, it's not snowing because they're in strife. No, it's not snowing because it's fucking summertime, assholes. Like, it's. I
It's
don't
like
know.
asking us. It's the same thing coming down to asking us if we're going to be. What are we going to be celebrating this Independence Day? What are we going to be doing?
Exactly,
like,
exactly. So yeah,
no, fucking retard. We're not fucking doing that shit.
yeah. So we'll get to a few things. We did really nothing major around here. We went and looked at Christmas lights. We went to my in-laws. I got a sweet ass pair of fucking Takis, man. They're
Yeah, I saw.
the Springbok color, but they're like the Grandpa 2000s because they're the New Balance, and I'm old. But
Hey,
uh,
bro, man, you need something comfortable on your feet,
fuck yeah, no. Coming to a Bri near you, you'll see me rocking those with
bro. You know
hooks.
what I'm giving you when you come here? I'm
What's
giving you a pair of Solomons.
a Solomon's? Okay, yeah, you've showed me. Yeah, they're very nice.
Okay,
They're very
they are
nice.
comfortable as fuck. You can walk anywhere with that shit. You will never wear through the soles on those things in your lifetime.
Man, that's quality. So I got my wife a really expensive Coach purse that I didn't regret. It was just God, it was fucking expensive, man.
Yeah,
Um, and that's pretty much it. We went to an ice hockey game during the holidays. That the team that I used to work with, that was a bit weird, just because I can't really just sit and enjoy it. And then there was some rugby on, not a whole shitload, but
yeah,
um, so that was about it, man. What about
yeah,
what happened with Pierre over the holidays? Did you guys go anywhere? Because you usually do that
yeah,
in December.
yeah. No, I didn't go anywhere this year because I've got a move coming up, and so I've been saving my pennies a little bit. And but yeah, I'm moving next weekend actually.
Oh
So
shit!
yeah, finally
Go
moving into
show
the
this
house.
next weekend because you're going to be moving. I've
Oh,
seen pictures
I'll
of the
probably
house.
be able to be set up on the Sunday. I don't know. We'll see. I need to
Yeah,
still
yeah,
arrange with the Wi-Fi people, but I
yeah,
mean, push comes to shove, I'll just connect through my phone
yeah.
because I generally have quite a shit ton of data on my phone, so that shouldn't be a problem.
I've seen pictures. Really keen. Looks like you're. Is it the one that's on a cul-de-sac? Is it on a cul-de-sac? Are you on like a
Yeah,
cul-de-sac? Yeah.
yeah,
So you don't have to worry about motherfuckers creeping down your street unless they live on your street.
yeah, 100%. They
Um,
got nowhere to go except to one of the people there, so that already lives there. So,
yeah.
but
Um,
I've got some viewings tomorrow, starting tomorrow for the flat that I'm going to be renting out at the back of my yard. So yeah, I've got a
damn,
couple of
you're gonna
people
have
with me.
some Mexican living behind your house.
Yeah, we don't really get a lot of Mexicans over here, mate. But our border is kind of the sea.
No, I always thought it was like, yeah. I mean, I know you got a decent little spot back behind it to rent out to somebody. Are you close to like a university or anything? Like, you think you could get a
No,
college? No, no college kids will rent it.
no. I'll look. I mean, the type of people that's responded to my adverts
Yeah,
are quite a wide range of
I was
people,
gonna
to be
say,
quite frank. So,
do you have a
yeah,
cast of characters coming through?
yeah, no, it's they're quite a wide range of people. I've got some old people, I've got some youngins, I've got some people that's like in their 40s. So it's like all over the place. Like there's one guy that messaged me. He actually lives in George,
Okay,
but he
all
works
right.
up here in Joburg, and so he's spending about 18 to 20 days here in Joburg because he works at the
Okay, okay.
airport.
Town boy.
And so yeah, he's obviously also keen to come and have a look at the place. So yeah, I've got a, like I said, I've got a quite a wide range of people with different needs for a place. So
Are you gonna furnish it? Are you gonna supply furnishings to it? No, you do it
no,
yourself.
they have to
Okay.
finish it
I mean, it's not
themselves.
like a
Yeah,
bad idea. I mean, it's also a good way for you to pay your
yeah,
mortgage every month too by having somebody rent out the home
yeah,
behind you. Um, you
yeah.
also,
And also, South Africa is not really a thing with that furnished. It's not really a
it's
thing in
not
South
really a
Africa
thing
furnished.
here unless you're like in either by a
Yeah,
college or you're in a lower like economic
mm,
area. Like, I think
mm,
my first apartment that I got into down here, like, it was fully furnished, but it was, like, also kind of,
yeah,
it wasn't for college students, it was for people who like traveled for work, so it was like it was basically like an
Yeah.
extended apartment, an extended stay hotel. Um,
Yeah.
so you've
Yeah.
got that coming. You also added a new family member to the household. Let me see if I can pull up the
Yeah.
photo here for everyone to see. Let's see if we've got it here. Come on, come on. No, that's a pic of a bunch of meat. Hold on. Is that going to show up? Ah! Oh, look at that little guy. What'd you end up naming him or her? Is it a boy or
Her, it's a girl, and the name is
Lexi?
Lexi.
Man, she is
Yeah.
a pit bull or American pit bull, as you guys say
Yeah.
outside of America. Um, about how big do you think she is at this current? Like, how many kgs do you reckon she weighs? Is she already over like the 7, 8, 9, 10 kgs?
No, she's still a baby. She's like literally like 8 weeks old. So I think she's at like 3 kilos or something like that, mate.
So she's just slightly smaller than my full
Mm.
grown dog.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so getting I we had talked about this privately. Like
Mm.
these dogs are like literally everywhere here. Like you can find
Yeah.
them at animal shelters left and right. That's the animal
Yeah.
shelter here is 90% pit bulls.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but it's a beautiful breed. You got her. She's got nice, good coloring to her. Look at that little look on her face. She looks like she wants something to eat. Has
Yeah,
she?
no, she's been eating, eh?
Well, but I
She's
mean,
been eating quite a lot.
she's always hungry. I bet she's
Yeah.
always down to eat.
Yeah. Look, the first, well, on the second, I took her for her first injections.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it messed up with her tummy a little bit. So the one day she didn't want to eat, but since then she's been eating everything. So
Is she sleeping in the bed with you?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Right on. Yeah.
She's my baby. So
She's an indoor.
yeah, yeah.
She's a house dog, not a
She's
yard.
no,
Yeah.
she's a house dog. She when I went to fetch her in Rustenburg, on the way back to Boxburg, which is like 190 kilometers from here.
Okay.
I
Okay.
actually put her on my neck. Yeah, she was sleeping in my neck right while I'm driving because over here she's like messing around, but over here she loved that. So
Yeah.
yeah, she was like in my neck the whole time. So yeah, she's a precious baby.
Yeah. Yeah. As soon as you told me you were getting a dog, I was like, man, this was something that people don't get, that don't know. I guess a behind the scenes kind of thing was something that, like, when me and Pierre first started talking, it was our love of dogs. Like,
Yeah,
we're both dog people. I have a little dog. He's gonna have a big dog, but it's still the fact that, like, I think for all the stuff that we could talk about in our past,
yeah,
one of the big things we can also agree on is if you abuse dogs, you are one of the lowest forms of life. Like,
yeah,
we love our pets. Our pets are our family. They're not just pets; they're family, pretty much. So,
100%.
and you look like you've got a beautiful little girl right there, Pierre.
Well, to be honest, she's actually quite smart as well. I thought she was going to be a little bit dumber than what she is. Like in the 1 week, I've taught her to sit. So like in
Our
the one
dog
week
still
now she
doesn't know how to
sits.
do any of that.
Yeah,
My in-laws have two. I think they're golden doodles or labradoodles. They're something
yeah,
mixed, but one of the dogs was a barn dog. Like, it was it was mistreated and lived in a barn. And
yeah,
when they brought her home to have a sibling for the other dog, the father eventually realized after a few days, like, I don't think that dog's all there. Like, and you
yeah.
could see in her eyes, like, you could tell that it's either from inbreeding or just something, her brain's just not all there.
Yeah,
So she's
same,
cute
man.
as hell, but we call her a simple. Oh, she's a simpleton. Look at her mind. She's got the mind of a child, and she's a full-grown dog. Um, and when we take Lady up to go visit, she doesn't play with her too much, and I think maybe because she is a simpleton, she doesn't wanna hurt her, but, like,
Mm,
our dog is, this freaking big, and their dogs are huge, and our dog will try
yeah.
to fight them, like, she'll lay on her back and, like, kick at them. So, I'm sure if Lexi ever met Lady wouldn't care how big she is, would just try to see, hey, can you run as fast as me? That's pretty much how it would work. And then
Yeah.
when they'd go to pass out, Lady would probably curl up next to her because she's way bigger. Get that body heat off of her. So, but she's got nice coloring, man. You got a good dog there, and hopefully, I know she's got good owners because we've already discussed how much
Yeah.
we love our dogs.
100%. She's gonna remain in the house. She'll be outside during the day when I'm not home.
Yeah, yeah.
When
That's
once I'm in
that's
my
also
own
a
house.
security deterrent as well. That will also be a
Yeah.
bit personal.
Yeah, look, not so much because I mean, where I'm going to be putting her is going to be not by the main gate. I'm closing that area off because I'm going to have a neutral of entrance with the people that's going to be renting by me.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't want them to drive over my dog. So yeah, I'm going to put a gate up so that she's away from that. Um, and also, I don't want other people to freak out, once my dog is big and be like, oh, fuck, a pit bull, type thing. So I'm going to be putting her aside on the one side outside during the day. And then when I get home at night, doors open, come in, pupples. You're allowed. This is your house.
Um, Speaking of pit bulls, do you remember the incident with Michael Vick? He was the NFL player for the Falcons who got sent to prison for dog fight. He was having dog fights
Yeah.
on his property, and he ended up doing time in federal prison for it because it was like pretty bad.
Shit.
Comes out, goes back to the NFL just briefly, becomes like kind of a commentator. That guy got a head coaching job at a university this week, and a lot of people are like, "That's fucked up." Like they
Yeah.
were posting pictures because there were pictures of the animals he was abusing. Like it was bad. Like
Mm,
I mean, he
mm.
deserved to go to prison. Like,
Yeah,
and
that
part of me
guy.
was
That
like,
guy.
part of me is like, man, that guy shouldn't be fucking coaching a college. Like,
Mm,
no.
mm,
Like there's certain things like we said, we've talked about this. There's certain things you
mm.
cannot come back from, and that to me that's one of them.
Mm.
So
He shouldn't be having the opportunity to influence young minds if he makes those type of decisions. You know what I mean? So that's just my opinion. Um, but yeah, look, I mean, this dog will definitely not get into any fights. I will try and keep her away from any fucking aggressive people, and I will murder them first, and then I'll let my dog bite them. So
that, no, the only thing that dog will be fighting is your arm because I'm pretty sure it's done that already. It'll try to grab onto you, not in a bad, in a like our
yeah,
dog plays like that too. She'll when I make fun of the way she fights, she'll attack me. And I mean, it's not like it's
yeah,
play fighting, but it's like my wife is trying to get her out of like doing that. And
yeah.
I had a really bad infected hangnail on this finger, and she got a hold of it, man, and it hurt like hell, dude. I was just like, shit. I didn't want to say
That's
anything,
like the worst spot, to get like
dude.
fuck
Yeah,
me, like
yeah,
that's
it was
like
right here. You could
hooks on everything.
yeah, you can see where it was at. It's still a little bit red, but it got really swollen, like bad. Like I had to like
Mm,
lance it with a knee. Oh, it was nasty. But so
yeah,
on to rugby. Obviously, no. I tried watching some of the Premiership this weekend. That shit is like it's like watching paint dry.
no,
Man.
bro.
It's just terrible. I think it's the commentary doesn't help, but over with Casual Bias, the other group that I do the US rugby coverage with, I had done my
Yeah,
video this week talking about imported players here into the US. Now, for like a good 5 year run, South Africans were like the overwhelming majority of imported players in the US, but not this year.
yeah.
Uh, it
What
was
is this year? Argentina,
Kiwis.
Kiwis. Snap. All right.
And Kiwis and Aussies. And like I kind of started looking at maybe what the reasons were why that and I think I know what they are. Losing a team in Super Rugby, probably part of it.
Yeah.
And it just kind of shows you the struggles of New Zealand and Australia rugby. We saw it in the rugby championship. Neither of those
Mm,
teams are what they used to be.
yeah.
Yeah, Argentines, it was Kiwis, Aussies, South Africans. Actually, let me grab the list. I have it right here handy. Um, where did that go? It's somewhere in here. Oh, here we go. So it was There are 45 Kiwis playing here this year. There's 11 teams. So there's
Yeah.
45 Kiwis. There's 36 Australians. There's 34 South Africans. There's 20 English born players here. There's
Yeah.
19 Argentine born players here. There are 16 Irish born players here. And then it just goes down 25 total countries represented. Um, the weird ones are Thailand, Trinidad and Tobago, Mexico, Brazil, Chile, and Zimbabwe. Those are all going to be kind of foreign to most people. But I, I
Yeah.
think I know why that is. I think I know why we fell as far as South Africa. This is the strongest SA rugby's been.
Yeah. I'm tending to think a lot of people want to take their chances in South Africa,
Well,
making a provincial, getting a shot at the big time.
well,
Um,
I had been saying this for years, and I'm starting to finally see it. I know of South African content creators on other
mm,
social media who are in England, Ireland, wherever.
yeah.
They're coming back.
Yeah.
They're moving back to South Africa
Yeah.
because they can't afford a home in the UK. They can work, their husbands or partners, or they can work remotely, and they're moving back to South Africa
Mm,
because there's no load shedding, like, and it's kind of, they're bringing back their wads of cash, and it's
yeah.
going to help, and I think it's going to help the country, and I think this is translating to rugby now too. You're hearing rumors of guys coming back all the
Yeah.
time. You're hearing,
No, look, I
just
mean, we find that quite often in like the news. Well, not news, but I mean, like certainly on my feed,
yeah,
on my Google feed for some reason.
yeah.
I don't know why, because I don't search shit like that. So I don't know where the fuck they came up with the
It's
thought
because
that
they're listening to
this would be interesting for me to know type
yeah,
shit, because I don't fucking watch it. But anyway, so I found a lot of it saying that a lot of people coming back, a lot of people moving back from Cape Town back to Joburg, and there's a lot of things like that. A lot of exoduses happening, and a lot of from certain countries back to South Africa, and then of course from certain cities to other cities. So um, yeah, look, I mean, I wish they wouldn't all come back to Joburg.
yeah.
Because traffic is already fucking atrocious. I mean, like for those of you of the American guys that don't know, Joburg's basically the same amount of people as New York, mate. Like it's fucking populated. Okay,
It's
we're
considered
just
a
not
mega
as
city. It's
we're not.
considered a mega city.
Yeah, we're just not as like confined, like into one like we didn't really go upwards, we went outwards, if that makes sense. Where New York, a lot of it's like very confined and going upwards, like high buildings, high rises, all that shit. Over here, it's more like I would imagine that it's a bigger landmass area that Joburg covers than New York for sure. But yes, we got like what I think it was over 9 million people in Joburg the last time I checked. So yeah, I don't I don't really want everybody to come back to Joburg. Hope they go to Cape Town or fucking Bloemfontein, or like get those fucking cheetahs growing again, and like those type of fucking places.
Well, I mean, I still think I actually want to pull this up because I'm absolutely curious. I know we're talking about, but because there's not really a crap ton of rugby going on, this is something I thought, man, maybe you could explain to me. I'm going to pull the map up here
Yep.
and we'll go into it. And I'm not going to show anybody where anybody lives, but I'm going to have you um, show me the bad traffic, if you wouldn't mind.
What do you want me to tell you in specific in terms of bad traffic? Like
like
where those hotspots are, type thing.
where are the worst traffic spots? Like, what are the motorways that are the worst to drive on? And
So in N12 going into N3, N3 going into
so
N1.
this area right here.
So it's literally everything connecting Joburg. to each other. Like the main highways are always
Yeah,
trash. Um, to be quite frank, especially if you're going towards Santon, it's pretty trash as well,
that's going
especially
up.
in the mornings.
Is that going up? Yeah,
Um,
going up north this way. Yeah,
but there's an interchange that we call Galulis, which is fucking cuck, man, to drive through. So Galulis is pretty shit. People
God,
stay away from it purely because of the fucking like people would not want to move purely because of that fucking interchange, mate. Like it becomes a pain in the ass because it's like from all directions that the highway merges.
yeah.
And so yeah, it tends to get stuck there quite a bit. And I mean that's 1 o'clock in the afternoon that you get stuck if you're
Oh,
going the
so it
wrong
doesn't
direction.
matter what time. The traffic is always just
Yeah.
terrible there. That's so
So, but
sad.
look, it's not as bad as in certain countries, like some other countries. But I
Yeah.
mean, like if you drive at the right time, you'll be where you want to go in sufficient time. Yeah. But if you go at peak time traffic, mate, like anything from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock, you fucked, eh? Like,
Man, I kind of want to bring up something since I've got the map open here, and I'm just going to zoom in
yeah,
to this town right here. Right.
Brackpan. It looks
So
like Brackpan.
I have to ask because everybody has all these like it's almost like it's like the Mississippi or like the
Yeah,
Alabama or like
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
it's like the place you don't want to tell people you're from because you're a what is the story behind Brackpan? Why is there that mentality? Because you're not
so
that far from it.
so if I think every town has got one of those actually.
Yeah.
Um, for the East Rand, it's Brackpan and Springs. So you can't really like for me, Springs is actually worse than Brackpan. But
Oh shit.
yeah, sure, we always make jokes out of regarding Brackpan because Brackpan immediately neighbors Boxburg. So we always like, yeah, you came through the border. Did you have your fucking like thing stamped? When you crossed over to fucking normal country, from your bitch ass fucking place there in Brackpan, shit like that.
Oh, but
And then
did you say Springs is just as bad, if not worse, than
yeah,
Brackpan? Okay,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
pull up an image here, and I have to show you this guy. Let me see if I can share the page because this is hilarious. So let me see if I can close out all these adverts here. Come on, close adverts. So this is actually a rugby player that plays here for the Houston SaberCats. His name's I'll
yeah,
say it like the American way they say it, Jerry Labuschagne. His name's Hedy Labuschagne. He
yeah,
did a reality TV show
yeah.
because he's, I guess a good-looking oak. But I just realized he's from Springs, and you're saying it's worse than Brackpen. I'm gonna have to bring that up to
Yeah,
him when I see him because,
yeah,
like,
100%,
because
100%. I
he's,
don't think if he's realistic about it, he can't really comment on it. He'll just be like, yeah, okay, fair enough.
but I mean, like, yeah, he was kind of like the Owen Farrell for me in this league. And then the day that
Yeah,
I actually got engaged to Jess, I met him, and I had made some memes about him. And I had said when you order Jordy Barrett on Timu, and
yeah,
you get
and he came.
and he thought it was funny because, like, for him, he was like, "Oh, I'd love to be compared to Jordy Barrett. He's one of the greatest." You know what I mean? Like, he didn't
Yeah,
take it like as. And then we talked,
yeah,
and he was like, "Look, dude, like, I'm an athlete. I was struggling. They asked me if I wanted to do a reality show. The paycheck was good. That's
yeah,
what you know what I mean. Not like, oh, I'm a
yeah,
douchebag. Like, it's just like
yeah, 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 100%,
I
of
did it
course.
because I needed the money to survive to live." And it was like after
Mhm.
that everything changed. I'm like, "Okay, yeah, you're a good dude."
Yeah,
He has a wife, he has an American kid now, and
yeah,
but he's from Springs, and I'm gonna bring that up. So,
yeah, 100%.
like
And then there's another area in
yeah,
Pretoria which is kind of cuck. It's called Danville.
and it's kind of the same mentality. Everybody thinks that
Oh God, I don't know if that's worse, mate. I think Danville's probably worse.
because it's like the way I've heard it talked is like they were like, if there's inbreeding going on, it's
Yeah.
probably in Brackpen.
No,
Just
for
like,
sure. No, for sure.
are
Like, I
you
mean,
fucking serious?
there's so many fucking jokes. about Brackpan. So like the one joke goes, so there's only a couple of reasons a girl in Brackpan says no to sex, right? It's
Yeah.
like, no, I've got a headache. No, my stomach's sore. No, my sister. That type of shit. And then there's like other stuff going on, um, like there's so many jokes I can't even remember all of them, but like some of them goes like, if you see a girl wearing a white tracksuit in Brackpan, she's on her way to a wedding type thing, right? So
Oh
it's
my
like a cuck like that.
god. Just the
So
home of low class people, basically, is basically what it seems like.
yeah,
And
uh,
I think it's funny that like you even have that in South Africa. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't
yeah.
matter where you're at, you're gonna look down on people from a certain area just because like the stigmas. And
It's
I'm
like
sure there's some good people from Brackpan and Springs, but I'm sure there's like
It's like the people in Brackpan, they're not afraid, right?
yeah,
I mean, they don't have like signs up for like my dog for dogs, like
yeah.
type thing, because they aren't afraid. They'll bite you themselves. That
So they're like the South African equivalent of like rednecks, basically.
oh,
Or
look,
like
I don't think
hillbilly.
everybody there is that way.
That's what I'm saying. Not everybody's that way, but it's got
Yeah,
the
but
stigma.
there's certainly some people there that's that way. So and unfortunately, those people are just the most visible, I guess, at the moment, and therefore, the area gets a stigma, I guess. So
I We obviously know there are no Springboks from that area, but if there were, which Springbok would it be?
God, if I had to like in history or in current,
And like say the last like 20 years, which Springbok would be from Brackpan?
if I had to go just by looks, I'd say Percy Montgomery, mate.
What? Because he just like
I
has
don't,
the
I don't know.
blonde hair and like the feathered
Yeah,
blonde hair.
I think I don't know. When Percy was younger, he always just looked like a douchebag to me. So you
Dude,
know,
that
that's
guy
just my opinion.
I
But he's actually a lucky guy. I just
Yeah,
thought,
I didn't realize that guy got hooked on blow, like, real
mm,
fucking bad, like, I follow him on social media, and yeah,
yeah,
like, he loved drugs, man. He liked to do
I'm sure.
drugs a lot.
So
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if I had to guess, I'd say James Dalton as well, maybe possibly from there. Because he likes fighting, and the Brackpan Oaks they like fighting. I'd say actually James Dalton's probably from Springs, stuff like that.
hold on, I'm gonna look this up.
So
Where was James Dalton from? Do you think he might have been from Springs?
no, fuck if I know, mate. Like I don't know.
Hold on, hold on, hold on. Uh, he is from Joburg. He went to Parktown High School? I don't know where that is.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
a bit
he grew up in
further.
Kensington is where he
Yeah,
grew
yeah.
up.
Kensington, mate. Like that's like Kensington is not a nice area. I got to be honest.
Is it a rough area to
Yeah,
grow up
yeah,
in?
yeah.
Like, we know what the worst neighborhoods in CBD are. It's the one that Ellis Park is unfortunately
Yeah,
in. What about
yeah.
on the outskirts? Like, what would Brackpan be? Is Brackpan a bad area? Or is it just the people are just weird? Or it's not like a
No, like I said, I mean, it's not all the people, but yeah,
yeah,
some of the people are certainly weird.
but it's not like
But
a
if
rough
you drive
area.
through Brackpan to get to Springs, by the way, so
Oh
I
shit!
mean, they're like the worst side of it, I guess.
Yeah,
The further out you go, the more like I guess fucking
the
trailer
worse it
trash they
gets.
want to get. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. So I mean, yeah. Look, I mean, so so I guess like if a Brackpan guy had to meet up with a Boxberg guy, they would both like at the same time make a fun of the Springs guy type
Okay.
thing.
Okay.
So it's basically like you and me both like tuning the English. Go fuck
Okay.
yourself. Type
Okay.
thing, yeah.
It's we have a mutual enemy that we both
Yeah, yeah.
dislike or we look down on. I get it. Um, but you didn't even grow up in Joburg. You grew up.
I grew up kind of everywhere, but
Yeah,
I lived in Zeerust for a while in Northwest. I lived in Cullinan, which is on the outskirts of Pretoria. I grew up in pieces of parts of Pretoria as well. Um, so yeah, I was kind of all over the place. I probably went to about 12 or 15 different fucking schools in my life
yeah.
between primary school and high school. So
Do So I know for a fact that it happened because I've been there enough, but
yeah,
Pretoria looks down on Joburg. Like they kind of look down on it.
I
There's
kind of
just
look down on Pretoria,
you
mate.
look
So
down on
fuck it off.
Pretoria. Yeah, like
Yeah,
it was people don't get it, and it was like, yeah, because like Pretoria thinks they're, oh well, we're this much and this, we don't have this and we don't have this, and it's kind of
yeah,
like, yeah, I mean, I didn't spend a crap ton of time in Joburg. I spent a lot of time in Pretoria, a lot
yeah,
of time there, and I don't know. Like, I mean, Pretoria had all the government buildings. Like, it was just kind of like
yeah,
it's the big capital, basically,
yeah,
is what it is, and had
yeah,
some nice historic neighborhoods. And of course, the jacaranda is like everywhere there because that's the city plant. Uh,
yeah.
but I kind of felt like it was a had a little brother syndrome. Like Joburg was the bigger brother, and Pretoria was the little brother that thought it was cooler than Big Brother. And it's like, is it really?
Yeah,
And then you get
yeah,
the snobs from Cape Town that look down on everyone.
yeah. But the snobs in Cape Town aren't even from South Africa, mate. They're fucking from everywhere else.
They're like
Uh,
rolling their ciggies and like
dollar bills.
sipping craft beer and shit.
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah.
people don't get it.
Fuck all those. Like, what do you call those fucking people again? What do you call them?
Yuppies,
No,
hipsters,
not yuppies. Hipsters. Yeah, fuck all those
hipsters.
hipsters, mate. Like
Like
they can go fuck off.
people don't get that basically the Western Cape, Cape Town is basically the California of South Africa.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
nobody
yeah.
likes people from Cape except people from Cape Town.
Yeah, fuck, bro. Like, I mean, I like the Cape Town colors, mate. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
Oh,
they're
because they
fucking
like they
coolest
add so
people.
much. They add so much.
Yeah, they've got. Look, I mean, uh, let's take it away from the rugby for a moment because
Yeah,
I mean, let's be quite frank. They got a fuck ton of like, especially like um,
back row
like
players, backline players.
backline players. Yeah, they got very good players there, generally, right? But I mean, if you like move that out of the equation, just themselves, they're just like they're true to themselves, mate. Like they wear their culture on the sleeve. They're proud of being who they are. They don't try and fake it. They'll tune you your mother's chut or whatever they
Yeah.
want. They will tune you. You know what I mean? They'll tell you fucking how it is. So and I like people like that because I'm like that, right? So I want people to tell me the way it is. So
No,
I
I
mean,
think
the way I talk shit on this platform, it's not me being a keyboard warrior. That's how I am in real life. I tell people to fuck off all the time. So I enjoy that. So
I think it's something that as I've done this, I've made so many friends in the Western Cape
yeah,
that I've really and most of a lot of them are Cape colored. I realize that I guess when you live like I guess if you live up north, like in Polokwane, you don't see them that often.
yeah,
There's just not a lot there. But you realize, they call it the Rainbow Nation, and
yeah.
that's the Cape colors are a big part of that rainbow that I just never really got to interact with, and I do it now a lot more on social media, obviously, and I
Mhm.
realize, damn, like these folks have like class, flair, style, like
$100%.
they've got their own language. It's like,
And they're always dressed well, mate. Like they always got swagger about them. They're like the African Americans of South Africa, if I can put it that
yeah,
way, right?
yeah. I
So
mean, they're very hip. They're very into hip
yeah,
things and that kind of thing. And it's like, and you
yeah,
enjoy it because it's like they add flavor to the potjie, if you want to look at
yeah,
it that way.
yeah,
Like,
100%.
South Africa is a potjie pot. Everything is contributed to it. The Cape.
We call it in Afrikaans 'n mengelmoes.
There you go. Yes.
When you throw everything together and you stir it together, type thing, right?
And
So
they add a flavor of their own to it, and whether you understand, it's something I've tried to explain to people here, because
yeah,
unfortunately the word colored here is a bad word. And I'm like, well, in South Africa, that's not a bad word. That's a group of people. And they're like, oh, they're biracial. I'm like, no, they're not. They're not biracial. They're colored. Like, they're a mix of everything. And it's like,
yeah.
I
At some point, I guess they were like biracial somehow,
yeah,
somewhere,
but we're
somehow.
talking like three,
But
four
I mean, this
hundred
is
years ago. Yeah,
yeah, this
like,
they've now built their own nation, mate.
well, dude,
So
I don't know if you saw. I was watching a documentary, and they were doing DNA tests on a lot of them to see like what they actually were. And a lot of them had, like, the
yeah,
original man DNA in them. Like, they
yeah,
had large traces of it. It was like, yeah, like, we immigrated here from where life started. Like, and
yeah,
it's some of them had some really interesting. A lot of them had Indian, Asian, that kind of thing, but a lot of them had like the original man DNA in them. And
yeah,
I mean, it's like I said, it's they're there. They're a part of the culture. They are a
mm,
thing that, I mean, look, I can't think of the Springboks without them.
100%. We actually got a colored community here in Boxburg.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. For some reason, they all like chose a specific area to live.
And they all
I
live.
don't know if it's since I don't know if it's from since before apartheid era. I
Yeah,
didn't live here
yeah.
by then. So, but yeah, there's a specific community in Boxburg where majority of the I'm not saying they don't live everywhere else in
Yeah,
Boxburg
yeah.
as
But
well,
they have a
but
nice concentration of them there.
there's a lot of concentration. Yeah, it's called Reiger Park,
Okay.
and that's where majority of the colors here live. So, and then of course intermingled everywhere else in Joburg and Boxburg and everywhere. But yeah,
Oh, I see it. Rhaegar Park. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Right on. What is that? Man, hold on. I'm going to share this because I'm going to see if you can tell me what this is right next to it. It's cool to look at maps. I look at maps a lot. So
Yeah.
let's see if I can get this. What is this that's below it? It says something like Ellsberg Tailing Complex. Is this just like for mining or?
Yeah, I would imagine there's mining happening there.
Jesus
What
Christ.
does it say there? Just scroll down there to where the writing is. I can't really see what it says
Okay,
there.
let me see if I can make the image a bit bigger here for you. Here we go. See if that helps at all, because we're not on the screen now.
No,
That
can
says
you just say
Ellsberg
Ellsberg?
Tailing Complex. What is this? Oh, it's a mine. Yeah, it's a mine.
Yeah,
It's an old closed down mine.
yeah.
So,
I would
but yeah,
imagine
you
there's
said
more
that's where
mining.
they live in that Rieger Park, just to the north of that.
Mm,
That's not bad, man. I mean,
mm,
but I think a lot of people, like I said, they don't understand the whole cultural aspect of the and it's like, dude, they really are their own thing, their own vibe.
mm.
Now, hopefully, the ones that have relocated to Hauteng have gotten
Mm.
right and started eating pop, because I've noticed
I'm sure they do.
Western Cape don't eat pop. They're like, yeah, that's a Hauteng thing. Even people
No,
from
no. Look,
KZN don't really eat it very much. It's a very Hauteng. Pop is very much a Hauteng thing, and I'm like, get your mind.
my admin lady is a color chick, and she goes and buys like we got caravans like in
Yeah,
all the industrial areas. There's like caravans selling food. You know,
we call them
like you guys have
food
like you
trucks.
guys got
Food
food
truck.
trucks stuff
Yeah,
thing, and they always have like pop and some meat and some veggies and some whatever, and it's like
yeah.
$45 or whatever, and so it's fucking cheap, right? So I mean $45 is probably like fucking $3 by you or whatever, right? So um or $2.50 or whatever. So it's quite a lot of food for that amount. And so she eats pop from there plenty. So I mean, I can't speak for all the colored people, but certainly she does.
Damn, dude, you're dead on 240.
Mm,
240, not 250. 240.
mm,
Yeah, you can't get anything off of a. Okay, So the names that I worked construction very briefly, and they didn't call them food trucks. They called them
Yeah.
roach coaches or barf carts.
Oh shit. Okay.
That was before it
Well,
became chic. Like, do you guys, you when you have like the portable toilets, the plastic
yeah.
portable toilets that can.
Yeah.
So we
The
would
porta potties.
porta potties, or actually, there was a company in Stillwater, Oklahoma called TNT, and their motto was for when you're about to blow, you would take a shit.
What after you had one of those? What's that fucking
A
tacos
burrito,
called?
a
That
burrito, fucking burrito from a roach coach. God damn, you're gonna be
Taco
shit.
Bell.
God, jeez, dude, I ate Taco Bell for the first time in a while a few weeks back, and that shit got A, expensive, and B, just shittier than it ever was in history. Like,
I've literally never had it.
you're not missing anything. It's fucking terrible. Oh, my friend that moved from Manchester back to Cape Town, her very first meal when she got back to Cape Town was steers.
Probably
Steers.
snap. All right. I'd have thought a Malay curry or something.
Yeah, yeah, no. She went to Steers because her husband is British, and I don't think he could handle the Malay curry. His British
Oh
palate.
shit.
No, she made cool chick. She's a hairstylist. I don't know what her husband does. The whole joke that she ran with while she was in Manchester was that she married him for a green card. When in fact, no, that's not why. They're a loving
Yeah.
couple. But she would cook like sempa and beans and stuff like that, and he'd eat it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the funnest part was when it was rugby time, and
She makes fun of him.
the South African in her would just like just get huge, and he's like a very quiet English guy, and
Is
when
she
we
colored?
yeah, she's colored and he's white.
So she's got personality already
Oh,
as it is.
yeah, she's a
So throw
hairstylist.
rugby in there.
Yeah, and I love that's yeah, Des. We did a video. Me and my wife did a video where I had her read the lyrics to the national anthem.
Yeah.
And we
I
got
saw that. Yes.
the idea from her because she had one of her English friends do it, and she told me straight up, she was like, "Your wife was 1,000 times better just because of her accent alone, because she's American,
Yeah.
very country accent in America." But they moved back. He works remotely. She's a hairstylist, and like he's not scared at all. You know what I mean? Like he's not a fish out of. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of fish out of water stuff for him because he's in South Africa now, but
Yeah.
they're the people that like move back. Like she left because she just couldn't make it. Now she can make it, and she's moving back, and they're gonna
Yeah.
stay because she loves it. She's you know what I mean? She's proudly South African, and
Look, man,
it is.
I'll give you one of my mates' honest opinions.
Yeah,
Okay, this is his opinion, not my opinion. Okay, and so I wouldn't know because I never lived in the UK. Okay,
yeah.
so but he lived in the UK. He then had children, and he
Mhm,
decided. But he's South African, right? Originally, well, he's I guess his parents was from the UK and moved him here when before he was born or whatever. I don't know.
but he grew up in South Africa.
He grew up in South Africa. Okay. And so he loves South Africa with a passion.
Mhm,
Okay. But he went back to the UK, all
mhm.
right, for the educational system and for I guess the fact that the country itself just works.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. No,
In
and I
terms
mean,
of like,
yeah, you can't. Yeah,
infrastructure works,
yeah,
like
yeah,
all
yeah,
that type of
yeah,
stuff, right?
yeah.
So to give his child a better like life. But he came back for about 10 years or so when
Mhm,
his children was born.
mhm.
Okay. Because he wanted them to see what it is like to live like real people.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
I'm not trying to say the British aren't real people, but like he says, his opinion to me was when he lived there initially, like people there are very cliquey. All right. So like there's a lot of like fucking bad attitudes between people, and um it's not like very warm and welcoming, and the nature is cuck, and all that type of shit, where he wanted his child to grow up in the sunlight and to like have friends and be able to play with his friends, and
Yeah.
to grow up humbly, you know what I mean, even though he was himself, he was like one of my bosses at one point. He wasn't
Yeah,
earning a fuck ton of money, so
yeah,
they weren't like they weren't like low budget people by any means, by any stretch of the imagination. They were living in like a fucking wealthy area in a boomed off complex, like fucking nice house, beautiful
yeah,
house. But the fact is, he wanted his children to have a rooted, um, I guess, something a bit more rooted in culture, in like passion for life, in like whatever. I
yeah.
can't remember all the words he used, um, but yeah, he certainly wanted his children to grow up here first before he took them back. Okay, and he actually took them back only for the reasons that he wanted his children to have a better future, right? But certainly, he still prefers South Africa above the UK, um, because of the culture, because of the people, because of the nature, um, and the fact that people are much more loving here. Um, they're more welcoming. They're more like, um, not like the guys are in the UK. I guess I don't know. And what I know about the UK is very
Yeah.
fucking limited, based on, well, I only know that which I've seen online, not what I've had personal experience with.
This is okay for fish out of water for somebody that has context that is not from there but lived there. Okay. This is the difference between South Africa. I mean, there's a lot we've gone through differences in countries. There's 1,000 of them, but I'll tell you a big difference
Yeah,
between America and South Africa is that yes, you have racism. It's everywhere. It's everywhere and anywhere. I'll tell you what I didn't see a lot of in South Africa. I didn't see a lot of classism. I didn't see a lot of people that
yeah,
look down. Like if people who were upper middle class didn't want to shit on poor people, they were like, "I got lucky. I'm doing well for myself. I hope the same happens for them." Here in America, it's a very
yeah,
divided class system. Like if you're rich, you don't hang
yeah,
out with middle class people. If you're middle class people, you don't hang out with poor people. I didn't see that.
yeah. Look, I mean, for us, I mean, I had a guy work for me. I told you about him last time,
Yeah.
that moved to Australia. He lived in Brakpan, funny enough.
So we fit
So,
right in Australia then.
and yeah, yeah. We said to him Australia's going to throw him out because of fucking, because of his hair and like different reasons. But anyway, so, uh, but the fact is that, we had a good time, a lot of the times, like myself and him. Like he's a fun guy. Like we didn't look down on him. He was one of mine down on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
might have made fun of him,
Because of where
but
he's from. Yeah, like what we were
but
saying.
he also makes fun of himself for that, right? Because I mean, it is what it is. You
Yeah.
like the thing about South African humor, and this is what a lot of people don't understand, is that we sort of like very similar to British humor, where we can make fun of ourselves, right? And we can, um, like take the piss out of ourselves without being offended, or if somebody else does it, we don't get offended by their joke or whatever the case might be, right? We've got a very dry sense of humor. So um he himself would like have made a lot of those jokes a lot of times when we didn't even say anything, type thing, right?
Yeah,
Just be like, I'm gonna drive there through Brakpan. I need to go to what he's like. Yeah, don't drive too slow because they'll fucking steal your tires off while you're driving, type thing, right? So, so that's just the type of shit that It's like sometimes he would make his own jokes as well, and he's now in Australia, and I don't know if that's a win for him or not. To be quite frank, but yeah. Look, I mean, he certainly hope he makes a success of it, and but yeah, there's there's not a lot of classism, as you mentioned. I mean, sure, there's very rich people who think their shit don't stink,
but that's everywhere.
but
That's not just a
for the majority though, it's like two people can like stand at a braai.
yeah.
One guy earns 100 grand, one guy earns 10 grand, and they can still have a conversation and make fun and what. So
Yeah.
it's certainly not always just about what you
It's
have.
who you are. It's yeah.
Um, It's who you are as a person type
And
thing.
I get
So
him.
if you're a shit person, you can be a rich person. It's a
Yeah,
shit person.
and that's what I think the big thing is too, is why that he did that, because he wanted his kids to grow up in a society where like
Mm,
everything wasn't just based on how much you had or what you had. And I think
yeah,
that's because for a lot of South Africans, they don't have a lot. So if you're going to gauge somebody, you
yeah,
can't really gauge them on what they have. You gauge them as a person, um, and that's, I think, a lot of the Western world. That's what's happened to the Western world. You're gauged by what you
mm,
have and where you live, not who you are as a person.
yeah,
And it's kind of the predicament that a lot of us are, kind of dealing with here. But yeah,
yeah.
so we're gonna end it this week, man. Didn't really talk too much about rugby, but that's because there's not really any rugby going on. Um,
Yeah, the
we'll be
holidays.
back next week potentially, depending on the move. Oh,
Yep.
are you gonna hire a moving company, or are you just gonna get a truck and a bucky and find some individuals to do it? Or are you actually gonna hire a company to come and do it?
No, fuck it. I'm hiring a fucking moving
Yeah,
company.
they
I'm not moving again. I'm sick of moving. Like I said, I moved around when I was a kid,
yeah.
fuck tons. I've moved around a couple of times since I was a grown up, and this is my last move into my own fucking house. So I'm gonna do it right. I'm gonna get people to do it for me. I'm not gonna be struggling with that shit this time around. Fuck it. Besides, I only heard today that I can move next week, so I need to start
Packing
fucking
up.
packing some boxes
Uh,
and shit. So
Do you how many kilometers away is it? Is it a long move, or is it not really that far away from
I'd say it's probably about 12 or 15
So it's
kilometers
not
from
like
here.
a huge, you're not moving like
Mm-mm,
you're not moving an hour down the road or anything like that.
mm-mm.
It's just
I can tell you how far it is. In fact, let me see here. Fuck off. Some shit popping up here for no fucking reason. Pilates.
Pilates.
And boom, boom. No, Pilates is my street name. Okay, so it's 11 kilometers
Okay.
away
So
from
you're
here.
looking at what, like a 15-minute drive, 20-minute drive?
About
Yeah.
20
Okay.
minutes, yeah.
Well, it's not that.
Yeah, there's a lot of robots from here to there. So
For those of us have never been out, for anybody who's a robot is what they call a traffic light in South Africa. Yes, they call it a robot. It is a robot to them. Um, and depending
yeah, and fuck all of y'all for thinking we're
and
wrong.
depending
Fuck
on
you.
what municipality you reside in, will tell you whether they all work or they're all broken. I'm not going to mention any
Yeah,
places in particular, but there are certain areas where all of them are fucking broken. Um, and you hear
yeah,
the complaints online, and then you'll get the local politicians. If you elect me, I'll fix all these robots. They get elected, and none of them get fixed. Not a single
yeah,
fucking one. Or they'll fix one, and they'll act like they saved the community. And it's like, what about the other
yeah.
23 that are broken down, guys? They had that commercial during the World Cup where it was showing Rassi and Jock in school with they had Jock or Rot, I think was it Rassi had tore down a robot, and it was to show how they got the light idea, and even where did you get that robot? Yeah, they call them robots in South Africa, which I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why.
because it's automated, maybe. This is an automated thing.
Yeah, look, I think the first time that robots made its way to South Africa, I guess our Afrikaans people back then was so dumbfounded. We were like, "Oh my god, that must be a robot."
Because it's automated. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I don't know. Fuck, man. What I know about shit, how it came to be, is
I
limited.
think how close is the closest robot to where you're currently sitting?
Probably about 100 meters.
Hold on. Paco, left on Rudell, right on McKinney. Yeah, maybe like a kilometer and a half for me, because it's a
Yeah,
stop sign on my street, it's a stop sign on the next street, it's a stop sign on the next street,
yeah.
and then the major thoroughfare
No,
has a
yeah. Look, if I drive out of my
yeah,
complex, okay, because I live in a state
yeah.
at the moment. As you get through the main gates by the
Mhm.
complex, okay, there's a
Oh, is there a
robot
robot to even leave
that
the
drives it in
estate?
the main
Yeah,
road.
like
Yeah,
mine, you don't get one
yeah,
until you get 3 blocks over on the main road, but my neighborhood, it's all just
yeah,
stop signs, so, there are
yeah,
I mean, I know you have them in South Africa, but we have them here too. One robot towns, one stoplight town. They have one in the entire town. It's
mhm.
like, yeah, it's pretty common here too.
I lived in Zeerust. There was one
Just
there,
one, just
which was
one.
only one, and then I lived in Cullinan before as well, and they had
Oh
zero.
shit, just stop signs. That's all they had.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Something we're getting here that is pretty common there that is not common here. Traffic circles. We're getting those here now, and
yeah,
they're fucking terrible because Americans do not know how to use them. Like at all. I've seen so many accidents.
yeah,
I've seen there's one just north of me, and you can see the skid marks of the guys going over it. So what they eventually did was they put some boulders in the middle of it.
yeah,
So if you go over it, your
yeah,
fucking car is done. So but
yeah.
people here do not know how to use traffic circles
No, look, I
whatsoever.
mean, there's plenty here, but I mean, if you go to like Umhlanga and places like that, there's
Yeah,
fuck
yeah,
tons over
yeah.
there. But in Joburg, there's plenty here as well. I mean, we all know how
It's
to
the
use it.
British
Well,
influence.
most people supposed to know how to use it, but unfortunately, there's a lot of fucktards out there that don't use
Well,
it
every
correctly.
American movie that where it would
Yeah,
show Americans in Britain, they would always get stuck in the Piccadilly the circus, the traffic circle. It was like National Lampoons. They all did it. It was a joke because we didn't have them
yeah,
here. Now we sort of have them, and the joke writes itself
yeah.
because people here don't know how to use them. But
Hello.
I'll be back next week.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
we'll talk some more next week, man.
100%. Thanks, guys. Have a fantastic week to you guys starting work again tomorrow. And those that start working the 13th, go fuck yourself. And
All right, everybody. Cheers.
have fun, guys. Thanks.